Hey there, I'm Pause Break Alex, and welcome to Pause Break Reviews. Now, how many of you out there remember this? If you're around my age and anything like me, then you'll remember Demo 1, or at least one of the many discs called Demo 1. Although I haven't looked after it properly, this disc is responsible for some of my formative gaming memories and shaped the tastes I have today. The later classics for Sony's first console like Crash 3, Spyro and Medieval all make an appearance, and 5-year-old me was like, holy crap, this is awesome. However, there was always one game on here that I avoided because I just couldn't figure it out as a kid, and that was Buster Groove. And since I had no idea what was going on for about 2 minutes, was told I lost, and then was unceremoniously booted back to the menu screen, Buster Groove didn't impress little Alex or his older brother too much, and we deemed it to be broken and or gay. And so we left Buster Groove and spent most of our time playing the Tombi demo. Seriously, that thing was like 2 hours long, it was insane. Anyway, fast forward to recently, I made it a little bit of a mission to get through every game on Demo 1, except for Gran Turismo, because that game's really boring. But when it came to Buster Groove, I was determined to figure out whether or not there was some kind of knack to this game, because from what I had seen online, there was something going on that I wasn't getting. And once I found a little FAQ, everything was clear, and I thought to myself, why on earth didn't I play this sooner? To my younger self's credit though, press the buttons in time to the beat is a very vague set of instructions and it's not really appropriate, so clearly someone at Demo 1 PLC got lazy on that front. So Buster Groove is another rhythm game for the PS1 that came out in 1998. Released by Enix before they got swallowed up into the disappointment factory that is Square, the game is about a tournament for one-on-one dance competitions. Your job is to choose a character and become the best dancer in the world. Oh yeah, everyone has space dancing energy stuff called Groovetron that gives them superpowers, I guess? And that's why you can set people on fire in a rhythm game? I'll admit, the plot is extremely bare bones, and you're left with pretty much no idea what's going on half the time. But as with any rhythm game, you're not exactly in it for the plot. Nobody goes into Guitar Hero and comes out with an existential crisis. A few characters sort of have plot arcs going on for them, such as Ham's quest for weight loss, but for the most part it's inconsequential to the gameplay, so who cares? Speaking of gameplay, Buster Groove follows a the rapper kind of Simon Says approach. You get a bunch of directional inputs, and then on the fourth beat of every measure, you have to press circle or X. However, to keep things from getting stale, Buster Groove introduces a bunch of fighting game elements, which spice up the gameplay tremendously. For one thing, you have something akin to a special meter in the bottom left that builds the less mistakes you make. As it grows higher, you get more choice in what moves you want to do, and you can input longer combo strings for even more complex stuff, which in turn gives you the edge over your opponents. However, just following the instructions won't always be enough for you to win. You also have to be wary of attacks. You can spend one of these smiley faces up in the top corners to send an attack your enemy's way, and if this attack connects, then they're left unable to do anything for 2 bars, which in certain parts can absolutely devastate their performance. However, they can also dodge these attacks and attack you back, so don't get too distracted by your own actions that you can't do anything about what your opponent's doing. Although I must admit, it is easy to get distracted. I absolutely love the character and set designs in Buster Groove, and by the number of cosplays for the game, despite its relative obscurity, I would say that's many people's favourite element of it. From Shorty's peppy 90s attitude, complete with dungarees and a backwards cap, to the Saturday Night Fever homage that is Hero, to Heat's breakdancing and Gasso's raving and Kelly's... Oh my. Suitable for ages 3 to 10, 11 to 14, 15 to 17, and 18 plus. No, it fucking isn't. So yeah, this is Kelly. She has a baby fetish and dances around in a latex rabbit suit. And that makes me really uncomfortable. And before you say, oh, well, maybe she just enjoys it, there's no need to make everything sexual, Alex, fuck you, it says it's a fetish in the fucking manual, she goes to these parties at night, go fuck yourself. Oh, and that's not all when it comes to flying shit under the radar, because let me tell you, this game does that about as well as Tom Cruise in Top Gun. Stripe, the bad boy gangster rap character, was censored to drink from a cola can instead of using his hip flask from the Japanese version, and yet his attack has him pulling out 2 Uzis and firing, and that's totally fine. Oh, and while the Japanese manual directly states that she is, the American and European ones still refer to Pinky being both a stripper and an assassin, on top of a fortune teller / dancer trade. And that's not even mentioning the removal of Ham's blackface or the sloppy editing of the N-word out of his song.
That's crazy!
On that note, we should probably move on to the most important component of any rhythm game. Music. Buster Groove opts for original tracks instead of the licensed approach that later games like Dancing Stage or DDR and Guitar Hero take, and while sometimes that can result in really stupid and cliche tracks, in this instance it actually results in some nice tunes over a smorgasbord of different genres. But I'm really bad at talking about music in technical terms, and that would fly over the heads of about half of you anyway, so I don't know, I guess I'll just talk about the songs in layman's terms. Heat's song, Too Bad, is this sort of West Coast hip-hop beat with a load of scratching and rapping, and is mostly good if not for the voices going bad, sounding more like they're saying potato on repeat. Frida's track, Dreams of Sky, Sea and Rainbows, or Sora to Umi to Niji no Yume, is mostly in Japanese aside from some English rapping, and that's kinda weird because Shorty Capoeira and KTN's tracks were all in Japanese originally, so what, did they run out of budget or something? Either way, it's probably one of the least interesting songs in the game and it nearly always comes first, so it puts me off a little bit. Ham's song, I Love Hamburgers, is a sweet G-funk beat with some genuinely amazing rhymes all about how much Ham loves eating burgers, because apparently his body and the fact that his stage as a fast food restaurant didn't drive that in enough. Seriously, it's like his one character trait is fat. Anyway, Kelly's song. Good God. It's called Transform. It's all about how she spends her nights going to fetish parties in her latex baby suit, and it's really awkward, and the breakdown near the end is pretty cool, but I don't like being anywhere near this. Shorty and the Easy Mouse is one of my more enjoyed tracks in this game, even if the singer does sound like they got some random 18-year-old girl with no singing experience to do it from the X Factor backrooms, and the Japanese vocals aren't much better, so don't try changing the language of the game to get a better song. Other than that, those orchestra hits and the reverbed guitar make me think of Sonic Adventure for some reason, and I have no idea why. Hero's got another awesome song, The Natural Playboy, a true 70s style disco groove that gets my hips shaking every time. Also, any song that can go from a guitar solo to a sax solo without anything in between is amazing, just by nature. Plus, look at this stage, it's fantastic, I love it, and I love Hero, he's the best. I Know belongs to Pinky Diamond, aka the human form of Rouge the Bat. Aside from reusing the same rap sample 3 times,
causing much mayhem, dropping drama, causing much mayhem, dropping drama.
It's just generic Motown saxy stuff. For some reason I had a hard time keeping the beat on this one, but that could have been just the input lag from my scaler and the harpage. I think the most original track on the soundtrack though is Chemical Love, Gasso's theme tune. Even though I can't understand half the lyrics, it's this mid-90s kind of funk I can't argue with. The pounding bass drum just gets into me and I can't help but love that slap bass. On the other hand, Kitty N's song and the theme tune for the game, aka Buster Groove, is really uninspired. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice, but it's super predictable and generic mid-90s Europop, which makes no sense because Kitty N's supposed to be a Sentai actor, and I don't know. Capoeira song also makes no sense. It's a calypso for a pair of dancing Brazilian aliens, I guess. I mean, it's a fairly nice song, but yeah. And you know what? What are these things actually meant to look like? I mean, seriously, I was mentioning Sonic Adventure earlier, and you can't tell me those aren't Chow. Finally, we've got the final boss song and the last song of the game, the gigantic Robo-Z's Fly Into Your Soul, a trance song which weirdly enough shares a very similar title to another song from another rhythm game I also love. Seriously, what's up with that? Anyway, yes, you are fighting a giant robot. A giant Vogue dancing robot. That's you. Down there. Have fun. In all seriousness though, Robo-Z is actually a pretty easy final boss once you know what to do. If you can prevent him from filling up his meter in the bottom right, he loses access to a lot of his higher scoring moves, and if you dodge his attacks, he can't regain. The song's fairly short compared to some of the others anyway, so it really won't take you too many tries to conquer this nefarious mecha. With all said and done, you're treated to a small FMV. Do any of them make sense? Not really. I mean, maybe Hams, but nah, who gives a shit anyway. After that, roll the credits. So, is Buster Groove worth your time? The mechanics are solid, if a little basic nowadays, and the character designs are just really fun to look at, plus the music is really good as far as original soundtracks go. I mean, I've actually done a game rip of my Buster Groove disc, and that's what you're hearing in the background here. It's just a shame that the sequel never made it to Europe, and Dance Summit 2001 never made it anywhere but Japan. Either way, Buster Groove is available for PS1 and the PSN store in some regions. However, it's worth noting that the input lag on the PS3 version's emulator makes it nearly unplayable. Well, that's it for today. Sorry for the late thing again. I guess I'm just moving, and you know, I know I say this every time. Thank you so much for subscribing, for liking, commenting, doing all your business. You do yours, I'll do mine, and I'll see you next time on Pause Break Reviews.